Alright guys, in today's video we have a lot of next-gen gaming news to go over and talk about, so I'm going to get right into it. If you could do me a favor, if you do end up enjoying this video or finding it informative, consider leaving it a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell notification icon. But starting here with Xbox, once again, they seem to be on a roll this week. They decided to lay everything out on the table, officially confirming the price point of not only the Xbox Series S yesterday, but today confirming the $499 price point for the Xbox Series X. It is just as I suspected. I did not anticipate this console being any less than $500, and for what you are getting inside of that box, a $500 price point is very, very appealing in my opinion. They also announced the release date, or confirmed it, I should say, because it was kind of leaked yesterday, that being November 10th. So that's when you can get your hands on one or both of these next-gen Xbox consoles. And they announced, most importantly, I think, for anybody who's looking to pick up this console day one, pre-orders for the Xbox Series X and S are starting on September 22nd. So a lot of very important, very big news that people were patiently waiting for. And so at this point, PlayStation fans are now eagerly anticipating Sony's response, wondering when exactly Sony is going to follow Microsoft here and reveal the price of the PlayStation 5, as well as the release date and pre-order info. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later, as we do have some evidence that Sony is getting ready to do something pretty significant very soon. Whether or not it ends up being this week, I can't tell you, but still, something big is about to happen, so stick around for that. I also want to highlight Phil Spencer taking to Twitter to comment on this, and he said, "I know it's been a wait for price, date, and a pre-order date. Thanks to the community for their support and encouragement. Great to see the reactions. Really proud of how the team handled the unscripted announce. Was supposed to be next week, but oh well, can't wait for launch." I do find this tweet pretty interesting because Phil Spencer is in fact confirming, because there were some people who were suspicious of this, that this was not a controlled leak. This was not an intentional leak. To me, that seemed kind of obvious with the timing of it. If you're going to do a controlled leak, you do it at a very specific time. And when I saw everybody talking about this, it just seemed to me that something was really off here. And I think they made the right decision because, as Phil says here, they were planning on waiting until next week. I'm very glad they didn't. I'm actually, especially as a PlayStation fan, I mean, it's obviously great for Xbox fans, but as a PlayStation fan who is waiting for Sony to say something more, I'm really glad that they decided to just pull the trigger on this one and just lay everything out on the table now rather than waiting until next week. And so there we go. Microsoft revealed their hand, I should say. And it was also confirmed today that EA Play is coming to Xbox Game Pass for no extra charge, which is really good news. That's definitely adding a lot of value to Game Pass. If you are somebody who is into Game Pass, you're going to have access to a lot of EA games. I guess that is the big Game Pass related announcement that Phil Spencer was alluding to earlier. And so they also announced that today, which is a pretty big deal. So overall, a lot of really good, really positive news for Xbox. Before I talk more about PlayStation, I do just want to say that I think this is a pretty big win for Xbox. I've been looking around the internet, and it seems as though the reaction to this in general is very positive. People think that, and I agree, that Microsoft handled this really well. It's nice to see them just coming out here, kind of ripping the Band-Aid off and just laying it all out here. And they are also offering, or confirmed I should say, the Xbox All Access program, where you will be able to kind of go in, get the console, get Xbox Live, get Game Pass, get all the stuff you want, and you can pay it off slowly over the course of 12 to 24 months. So that's a really cool offering that they're doing as well. I think Sony should consider trying to do something similar because, as I said yesterday, considering the economy right now and how it will be tough for some people who do want to get their hands on these consoles as soon as possible, this is another option for them to do so, where they can just pay it off in monthly installments. I think that's a great thing they're doing. There's a lot of really good stuff going on here for Xbox, and I know that I'm hard on them a lot of times. I know that we still have to have conversations about the gaming situation, and that in particular, I still think that's a big area where Microsoft or Xbox in particular is still suffering, where yes, they did announce a lot of games that look like they have a lot of potential earlier this year, but unfortunately it seems like they are a ways out, and it will be quite some time until we get our hands on them. And so in the meantime, we have to look at what's in front of us, and we saw that Halo Infinite got delayed, so there's definitely a big weak spot there for the launch of the next generation Xbox. But other than that, I think they're handling it really well. And I'm happy. I'm happy to see this because Xbox fans are happy that they got the information they were waiting for. And now us as PlayStation fans, those of us who were really excited for the PS5, this certainly means that Sony is gearing up and getting ready to reveal the rest of their hand. And so moving on from that, I do want to talk more about PlayStation because it says here, PlayStation 5 Boxart blowout on Amazon suggests something could be happening today. Now, I don't know that anything's going to be happening today. This was written up 6 hours ago. But basically what you need to know is that a bunch of box art for all of the different PlayStation 5 exclusive games have appeared on Amazon. And they look really cool. Some of them are actually placeholders, but for placeholder box art, I think they look pretty good, specifically the Demon's Souls remake box art. It says that the art is not final. Some of them do not say that, so it makes it seem as though some of these game cases or box arts that we're looking at are final, but this is a really good sign. This is a really good sign that Sony is in the process of getting everything together. And that's the big question, is will Sony move up their announcement? Because here's the thing. If we found out today that Microsoft's original plan was to announce all of the information they revealed over the past 48 hours next week, then surely that tells you Sony was going to push it back even further than that. So maybe Sony is now pushing their plans up by a week as well because of this whole situation. We have to understand that Sony did make it clear at the beginning of this week that they didn't plan to reveal anything significant about the PS5. They made that crystal clear in their blog post. Now, obviously, they could be lying. I don't think that's the case. They could change things up at the last second. I think that's very possible considering the situation. But to me, the most likely situation is that it's possible that they were going to wait until the last week of September, or the third week of September, I should say, but now they're going to move it up a little bit. So, or maybe, yeah, the last week of September, I think makes the most sense. It's hard to say. I am just speculating as usual, but one thing I can say for sure is that it is nice to see these box art cases show up, because it's a really good sign that something big is going to happen. And who knows, maybe as I'm recording this, something is being announced. Maybe something will be announced later today, tomorrow, before the end of the week. But I'm just feeling a great sense of relief that Microsoft has come out here and revealed this information, because now that they've done that, we know that Sony is ready to make any last-minute adjustments that they feel they have to make. And one last thing I want to mention before ending the video is we've been hearing for months now that apparently Sony has had some major reveals and announcements, some significant announcements actually, that they held off on, that they were thinking about showing during their June Future of Gaming show, but they decided to hold it back and save it to wait and see what else Microsoft may have to reveal. Now Microsoft has made some pretty big reveals. I'm very interested to know what exactly these big announcements and reveals are. I'm very excited. So a lot of good news overall, guys. Things are really starting to heat up, and we are just getting that much closer to getting our hands on these next-gen consoles and these next-gen gaming experiences. So that's going to do it, guys. I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already, hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.